Yo, what's going on, True Blazer fans? It's Torey, and I'm back with another video. Now, I guess you could call this a player analysis, but we're going to be talking about our 3 new training camp invitees. Now, if you haven't heard, we signed 3 players to training camp deals, and while it's very unlikely that these guys make the main roster, all of them are candidates for a 2-way contract. With 2 of those still available, it's very likely that at least one of these guys is basically a Portland Trailblazer next season. So we're going to talk about all 3 of them and what they could potentially bring. Make sure to follow us on the Twitters at TrueBlazerFan and me personally at ToreyJonesYT. Make sure you're subscribed down below with that notification bell turned on as well so you don't miss any of our videos. And with that being said, let's jump into the first player we're going to talk about today, and that is Chinanu Onuaku.
What's up, y'all? This is Chinanu Onuaku from the Vipers and the Houston Rockets organization. Today I will be explaining how I do my underhand free throw. First came about, Coach P, when I was at Louisville, came up to me, asked me if I would try it. And, you know, just me being a basketball player, just trying to get better. I said yeah. So first week, you know, he taught me a little bit, and then he gave me a video of Rick Barry. So I watched the video and like took his style and like combined it with my style. So basically, you know, when I walk up, ref throw me the ball, you know, I take my time, you know, do my routine, dribble 3 times, you know, spin, you know, concentrate. I make sure my hands are on the side of the ball, like I'm about to like do an underhand free throw, you know, basically. Make sure like your thumbs are on like the creases so like you can get a good grip. So, you know, you put it down here, take your time, take a deep breath. Make sure.
So let's see what Nanu can do here. Underhanded shot up, and it's in. Huge shot.
This young man was shooting terribly from the free throw line at Louisville, and he switched to underhanded after his freshman year. And he has gone from a bad free throw shooter to an excellent free throw shooter.
So this dude shoots underhand free throws. It's pretty awesome, right? He played his first couple seasons for the Houston Rockets, but he ended up getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks, I think. I don't really remember where, but he ended up getting traded from the Rockets, and then that team cut him, so he was on the free agent wire. And this is a guy who actually has a little bit of promise to be a rotation player down the road because he's actually a tremendous defender. Now, I'm basing this off of what he's done in the G League, what he's done during Summer League, and his college days at the University of Louisville, because he's only played 74 career minutes in the NBA, so he's basically a rookie at 22 years old going into the season. He's 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan, so he is slightly undersized for a center, but that is definitely his best position. He's not a power forward who's going to be out there on the perimeter guarding other perimeter fours. He's definitely a center. He's a pretty mobile big man, good in the pick and roll, somebody that can finish around the rim, but you're not really going to see him shooting any jump shots. So just based off reading his scouting report, he sounds a little bit like Ed Davis, an undersized center who rebounds well, who rolls to the rim well, can finish around the rim a little bit, and then provide some defense. In college, he had 4.9 offensive rebounds per 40 minutes, which is an Ed Davis type of rate. So maybe they see this guy as a potential replacement down the road. Onuaku also seems to have some potential as a passer, as the highlights you're watching right now are from a game where he posted a triple-double with 11 assists. A lot of basic passes, but he seems to be able to make the right decision with the ball, which is a promising feature of his game. So in general, I really like Chinanu Onuaku as a 2-way contract type of guy that they can develop into somebody that could maybe take Myers Leonard's minutes or lack thereof down the road. 2 years from now, you'll be able to do much worse in a 4th or 5th big man than Chinanu Onuaku. So Cameron Oliver came out of Nevada a couple years ago, and he was regularly projected as a mid-second round pick, and he went undrafted, which was surprising to me and many other people because this guy has some game. The knock on him is he's a 6'8" power forward, but based off his game, if he was 6'11", he would be starting for an NBA team. With the league going smaller, Cameron Oliver may have more of a fit at the power forward position at 6'8". This is a guy who's shown he has the ability to knock down mid-range and even three-point shots, so he can't stretch the floor. He's pretty strong, and if you look at him, he looks like a brute, but he's very, very athletic and agile for his size. He has a quick first jump, which helps him out catching lobs, finishing around the rim, as well as on defense blocking shots. And he's also a very good rim runner, and he's very quick in the open floor. Seems to have a good feel for finishing the ball inside, and honestly, I know it's just highlights, but just based off watching some tape of him play, he's more promising to me than Caleb Swanigan. They're both undersized, they're both pretty strong, they both can kind of hit jump shots, and they both have a little bit of a low post game. But Oliver's athleticism makes him much more promising as a guy that can maybe face up, take guys off the dribble, as a guy that can keep up in transition, as a guy that can do a better job defending at the rim due to his vertical leap, and with his quicker feet should be able to do a better job on the perimeter. I really like Cameron Oliver's game, and this dude would also be a great target for a two-way contract. Portland has a lot of perimeter players, so I would love to see Onuaku and Oliver on two-way contracts as some big man depth. And if we trade someone at the trade deadline and only end up with 14 players like we did last year when we traded Noah Vonleh to the Bulls, then you could see one of these guys ending up like Wade Baldwin did and getting their two-way contract converted into a regular contract and then being with us as a developmental piece down the road. The third and final training camp invitee is Gary Payton II. And I'm not as high on Gary Payton as I am those other players. First off, he's a lot older than them as a prospect. Second, we already have a better version of him in Wade Baldwin. They do have similar games. Quick, solid athletes, strong and defensive first players, have that dog mindset, and it's Gary Payton II, man. His father was one of the best defenders in NBA history. So this dude, you know that he can defend, but the other parts of his game just aren't there. And he's shown that in playing time that he's gotten a little bit here and there for the Milwaukee Bucks, the Los Angeles Lakers, and other organizations over his short career. I just don't see the upside with Gary Payton. I'd much rather go with a guy like Isaiah Briscoe, who we had last year in training camp, who's younger and a little bit better and was a better college player. I believe Briscoe is signed on with the Philadelphia 76ers. It might not be the Sixers, but he signed on somewhere on a two-way contract, and that's a guy we cut. Gary Payton, honestly, I think is a little bit worse. A lot of you guys probably know his game, especially if you're Oregon State Beaver fans, as that's where he played, and he led them to their only NCAA tournament since I can remember. So some of you guys may be a big fan of him, but I've also heard from different sources that he's not necessarily the best locker room guy. And he kind of reminds me of the path that Wade Baldwin could have went down if he didn't humble himself and he kept that bad attitude, which got him cut from the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, that's just speculation that I've heard from a couple different sources. Might not be true, but I've heard the kid necessarily isn't the best person to have in your locker room, especially as a guy who's going to have to work to develop and doesn't really have any upside and isn't going to see any playing time. So true Blazer fans, let me know what you think about our training camp invitees this year. I'm pretty excited for Onuaku and Oliver. Gary Payton, not so much, but it's still a pretty good crop of players. Let me know who you're most excited to see during the preseason, and if you didn't know much about these players, then I hope that I helped you learn something about them today so that when you're going into training camp and you got a friend that doesn't know who they are, you can say, oh yeah, this dude shoots underhand free throws, he's a good defender. You can sound like a genius, you know what I mean? Anyway, I hope you true Blazer fans have an amazing day. This has been Torey. Peace out. Go Blazers.